Hi, my name is Andreas and it's time for a cup of CODEO. Let's get started.
Welcome to A Cup of CODEO, your 5-minute tutorial.
We start in the CODEO main perspective. In this video I want to show you how you can use the console and configure the build procedure in CODEO. For this I have several projects prepared in my Project Explorer. Let's start with the ELinOS project. To build the ELinOS project you usually use the build target make boot. So when I click on it, the build console will come to life. CODEO has a console view that contains so-called build consoles. In this case, this build console is called ELinOS because it shows the ELinOS specific build output. The console itself is sensitive to the current selection. So when I change the project, the console name will update and the content as well. So we don't see anything here because these projects are not in build mode right now. Switching back to ELinOS, we'll see the build output accordingly. There are other consoles available as well. You can switch the console by using a toolbar button. The other console that you find here is the global build console. The global build console is not specific to a certain project, but shows the last output of your build procedure. So the main difference is that when switching through the projects in the Project Explorer, the output will remain unchanged inside the view. This way you have always an eye on the last build result. Let's scroll to the top of the console. As you can see, we missed the start of the build procedure. This is because by default the console has a limit in the line length. For Linux and ELinOS in particular, this could be a problem or limitation because building a Linux kernel has much more build steps. But it's not a problem, but just a question of configuration. So let's go to Windows and Preferences to see C++ build and console. On this page we will find a parameter called limit console output, which is by default on 500 lines. Let's change it to 2000 for instance. With this we can see the entire build more easily. Next time when I run the build, I will see the entire procedure in one console view. But that's not all. Let's switch over to the PikeOS project. In PikeOS, you usually have the situation that you want to run or compile several partitions in parallel. Each partition is fed with a certain process or boot image according to your configuration. In this example, I have ELinOS and PikeOS partitions and I need to compile the PikeOS process and the ELinOS process in prior before I can build the actual integration boot image. I could do this manually, but in my case I want to daisy chain it. So when I build the integration project using the make boot target, it shall automatically run the build of ELinOS and PikeOS before. So let's see what happens when I click on boot. The build procedure starts and you can see there's an error. Obviously, because Linux is not installed into the right place and PikeOS boot image cannot be compiled. So now let's change it. Therefore we switch to the project specific properties. In the properties, we can now go to C++ General, Path and Symbols, and then we will find several tabs and we go to the very right side and select References. On this tab, you find all the projects that also appear in your Project Explorer. I can now tick the projects that I want to build in prior. As you can see, they get enabled with their active build configuration. This is the proper setting for PikeOS. I can also change the order if I want, but in this case it doesn't matter. So With this, I have daisy-chained the project, so when building the integration project, it will automatically build the other projects in prior. But there's one other important step to do. I have to tell the ELinOS project that it shall install the image and not just compile it. Therefore, we go again to the properties. In this case, we switch to C++ build settings. There we will find the tab Behavior. And here is the field Incremental Build. This particular field is the actual build target or make target that is executed when running the build in a daisy-chained procedure. I have to change this from boot to install to tell the ELinOS makefiles that I want to install the boot image into the right place where PikeOS can pick it up. So now let's see what happens when we compile. As you can see, there's an ELinOS build step in prior before the actual PikeOS build starts. And the build was successful. And we have the proper PikeOS boot image on our hands with just a single click.
And that's it for today. Hope you liked it. See you next time.
You can try out our CODEO IDE together with a free ELinOS test version. Go to our website and start your experience.